Have you ever wondered the inside scoop about how coaches run practice, prepare for their team, and are really, really effective at the NHL level? In this video, I'm going to break down to you all the secrets, all the inside scoops that you do not see at press conferences, that you do not see on games behind the bench. We're going deep into practice, and we're going to use one of the best coaches to ever do it in Jon Cooper with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, the first key we want to discuss in practice is saying hi to every player. We want to give one piece of positive reinforcement and at least 20 to 30 seconds to each player as an individual.
Welcome back, Coach. Colby's starting it off. I love it.
Right away, we see here a great example of not only saying hi to every player, but skating calmly through the practice, lots of stick taps on the players' shin pads, welcoming back. What a great way to open it up.
Out of the way, Pally! Volky's on his phase 4 game right now. Phase 4 already. That's it, Stevie. I didn't realize how much I missed you guys.
You can see here in this clip how he is complimenting players during warm-up drills, really opening, really light, really friendly, and he's using very specific language. You heard the term phase 4. Every coach has a plan. A big part of their season, Jon Cooper has come in with a 4-stage plan, likely broken up by 2 to 3 month intervals. I'm guessing 2. Stage 4 is what they do when they head to the playoffs. It has to do with your cardio conditioning, how you are as a player, what systems you're running, what energy you're bringing to the team. And by Jon Cooper telling his player on day 1, you look like you're already in stage 4, he is signaling a compliment to that player that the player directly understands, saying, you've shown up to training camp with some great legs. You look like you got great energy. I love what you're bringing to the team. This is super critical, and it has to be honest. He truly has to mean it. He's not making this up.
My voice is definitely in phase 1.
I think this one's a funny one. My voice is definitely in phase 1. Fisherman's friend, our best friend as coaches. It is exhausting talking and projecting your voice through a hockey rink all season. They are going to do this hundreds to thousands of times. So there's a little bit of an inside scoop. He's saying he's just barely ready to go in phase 1, and he's letting his players know they're already in phase 4. And as we run through practice, I want you to see these 4 key areas. We have coaching, teaching, directing, and planning, and none of these activities can be done at the same time by any coach. That's why they have multiple coaches on the ice, and they also expect players to jump in to do that. So I'm going to point out in these videos at points where they're coaching, where they're teaching, where they're directing, and when they're planning.
We're good. All right, couple more here.
All right, one thing that you just saw there. It's a concept we call waiting for all players. He does it with a smile on his face. Awkward science is powerful, but you have to make sure you have the attention of the room before you start speaking as a coach. They don't just give it to you. You have to earn this, even with adults. And you're going to notice through this video certain key areas. To seek attention, eyes up here. You're going to use that vocal cue. You're going to say hands up, or you're going to use your whistle. Coaches love the whistle. I love looking at people, giving them that. Hey, eyes are right here. Some people like to put a hand up to let people know they're ready to talk. There are multiple different ways to do it.
How we feeling? How are the legs, Pointer? All right? Okay. Make sure we're shooting the puck. Don't overpass. All right, and then we'll finish up with a little neutral zone game.
All right, so the first piece you heard, how are the legs feeling? How are we doing? Making a human-to-human connection before you go out there and creating a safe space, psychologically safe for players to, and they will. I swear they will pipe up and say, I'm not doing great right now, or I'm feeling tired, or we're looking bagged. Leaders will step up and communicate that. So it isn't just a platitude when he asks those questions.
Make sure we're shooting the puck. Don't overpass.
The next thing you're going to notice here, make sure we're shooting the puck. Don't overpass. Shorter is best. Quick, condensed statements, tones, words, language that everybody understands, especially when you are coaching a team that is worldly. You have Russians, you have Finns, you have English, you have it all. Everybody is on an NHL team, multiple different languages. Shorter, clear language is best. Universal terms like shoot, don't overpass makes a lot of sense. And here's another great example of using your voice and short, quick bursts of hockey terms.
Flood, 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 seal the wall. I want them to say, seal the wall, seal the wall, seal the wall. You seal the wall. Seal the wall, Tony. Seal the wall, wingers. Move to the wall, seal the wall.
What do you guys think he's looking for there? You think he's looking for them to seal the wall? He is building a giant play using one skill, one technique, which is sealing the wall. And here you'll see an example of him showing his players
Got
that.
it? You get him up. Like, get the knee in there. Don't let him in. You got to get him up. 1, 2, so the third guy comes in.
So right there, when he is using a pin and hold teaching method technique, and he says when the third guy comes in, there's going to be a wall seal that's coming in on these drills. The drills are always going to build on each other. They're going to be part of phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4, and they're going to get progressively more complex as the season goes, even with professionals that win Stanley Cups like the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, here's a great example of the coach holding court, running a drill, a little 2-on-2.
Oh, who's going who? Okay, make sure we're talking. Whoa. How's he going to understand that?
And we're right back to communication. Make sure we're talking, and whoa, how is he going to understand that? As much as that was likely tongue-in-cheek, sometimes the message sent, actually all the time, is not the message received. This means that coaches, including players when speaking to each other, have to have multiple different ways of approaching the same message. You have to use analogies, you have to use stories, you have to use different language, shorter language, longer language. It has to be appropriate for the audience that you are talking to. It is critical to not forget, as a coach or anyone in general life, that when you are giving a message, it is not about the message you are saying in terms of how you feel about it as the person delivering the message. It only matters about the person receiving it. Your intention means nothing. It only matters how they take it. So we have to be very conscious of that and try it multiple different ways. And here's another great example of it from a coach with kids, a little bit different level.
You have to find ways to release yourself from the operation of the drill. Do I need to be this guy? How can you get me out of this? I don't want to dump the puck in.
Oh.
So I want to change. Who should do it?
The second guy in line.
So there you go. This works with adults. It works with kids. You just change the tone and the way you're talking to people depending on the age. But at the end of the day, humans are brilliant. We're amazing. We're smart people. So there you have Jon Cooper running a very similar drill where he's dumping the puck in. And we have a very high-end minor coach explaining how can he get out of the drill, because you can't be running a drill, teaching and coaching at the exact same time. So he asks a simple question. The players give a simple answer. They say, we could dump it in. Now they have ownership of their drill. The key for a coach is to release himself from the drills and allow the players to run it. You want to run a drill 3 times. 3 times allows a player to practice and get good at the drill. Time 4 to time 6 allows them to master the drill, and anything after time 6 actually becomes significantly diminished in terms of returns because your body just starts recognizing patterns. And here's a really great example of what I mean. There's block practice and we have random practice. When we go ahead and develop something like this, sticks out, this is to give a player a visual of where a player's stick would be. And you can see what the coach is doing here. He is actually tapping on the player's butt to let him know which direction he wants to go. So he's verbally going to call it out first. There he says left. The player goes left. Then we're going to go again and he's going to pass it off. He's going to say go right. The player goes right. He's going to come back. He's going to put pressure on his left leg. You could see that there, right on his left hip. As he comes back, that little bit of pressure tells the player you got to go right. This mimics pressure in a game from a defender. And then from here, he's going to put it through again. He's going to tap, little stick taps, different. Tap, tap on his right hip. That tells him to go left. And then we're going to change the drill. We're going to go into the corner. The coach is going to apply pressure on the outside. The player has to come down low. Another coach applies pressure on the different hip. So we've gone from the triangle there over here, and we have now progressed to more of an open ice drill where the player can better visualize. And from there, we're going to move it into the middle of the zone, a little bit higher on the circle. And then overall, we're going to have players running the drills themselves. So when we take a look here, this looks like absolute chaos. It's beautiful to watch. Everything that's going on is incredible here. But this entire drill was built from 2 coaches working with 1 player in small skill stations, 3 skill stations turning into an entire 1/3 ice drill or an offensive zone drill where players are practicing, moving pucks back and forth, working on pressure and randomizing. And randomizing is what's key here. Block practice, just shooting, just practicing. This will allow you to get some form down, but random decision-making needs to be developed. And great coaches like Jon Cooper and what we saw the Pittsburgh Penguins doing there allow for this to occur. Random decision-making is critical, whether you're working on individual skills and tapping a hip with a stick, or you want to progress to a massive drill like we saw.
The second D will be in front. First D will be hitting pinning, then the center will give it.
An example of what we just saw there. Second D will be in front. First D will be here. This is a prime example of coaching. Coaching happens when you are side by side. Remember, we have coaching, we have teaching, we have directing, and we have planning. This is coaching. When you are side by side, one-on-one with a player, you are coaching.
Don't let that stick. When they get the puck to forwards, you yell at them so they know where you are.
When we get that puck on the forward stick, you yell at them so we know where they are. That's a great example of directing. Clear, concise, an exact thing of what I want you to do, when and where.
All on your forehand, these first. So 2 each side. Step over, then spin.
And finally, from Nolan Baumgartner, there's a great example of what teaching is. Step forward and spin, participating in the drill with the player, working exactly and showing them and demonstrating with them side by side what you want them to do, and then letting them do it. And then finally, we have voice volume. It needs to be used as needed. You need to be calm, cool, and collected at the right time. And you've heard that from most of these coaches. But at the exact right time, you need to turn up the volume and put it all together.
Work, work. Oh, gaps and angles, gaps and angles. Gap, 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 angle, angle. You got to angle, boys. Take your gaps, take your gaps. Angle, angle, angle. You're all right. Angle, slow him down. Even on the first one. If the basket's to play, the basket's to play.
So you can see it there. Gaps and angles, gaps and angles, gaps and angles. Volume was high, intensity was high. It's a big drill. That is the point they're emphasizing. Short, clear, direct communication. I think that's what they're working on, is gaps and angles. But then it comes down as needed when you're talking to a player one-on-one. You heard that vocal volume change as soon as he got one-on-one. Hey, gaps and angles, to when it's an entire group. Gaps and angles, gaps and angles.
Basket, 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 basket. Last one here, last one. Nice, Sergey, nice. That's it, Henny, that's it. Out of way to surround it. Out of way to skate out of it, Gons. Stay on your guys. Stay on them. That's it. Where?
And that's it. That's exactly how you take it home. You get intensity up at the end. It's a big drill. You're coaching players through that drill. As you're coaching, your volume is changing. Your message is changing. You were pre-planned before practice. You had 4 stages of the season you want to be ready for. You greeted your players. You gave positive feedback to players. You coached, you directed, and you taught. You used your assistant coaches in the right places. You ran a slew of different drills, and you put it all together under that season plan in practice number 1. You got your intensity up at the end, both using your vocal volume and what you expect of your players. And then finally,
other side.
It's that last whistle, and it's all over. I want you to take away when you're watching this video is listen to the coaches that are on the ice, whether it's in media, on ice in practice, or mic'd up, and see what language they choose. Remember the coaches you had when you were young. In any sport, the choosing of the language is critical. What we're taking away from this is we're moving from places where we say, what was that? What was that? We've all had it. The player does something dumb. You've coached them. You have yelled gaps and angles a million times. They don't take their gap and angle, and you scream, what was that? Well, that is a horrible way to reinforce a player. You bring the player over and we change our language. You are not going to hear NHL coaches using that anymore. They are being phased out of the game if they're not already gone. They're going to use language such as, hey, what did you see out there? And do you see how saying, what was that, can be taken as very confrontational, it's very open-ended, it's very ambiguous, to what did you see out there forces the player to give you an answer. It forces the person to give you an answer, and it makes you and your relationship stronger and better because now maybe they did see something you didn't see, or maybe the entire time you were sending a message, it was not received properly. So they went ahead and did something incorrect. That's why we come back to here and say, what did you see out there? That will clarify the message that you have been giving this player or the person you're working with in any form of life, and you'll get a better, more collaborative answer. Take this one away. It's a freebie from me. We have to set expectations for people in the world. There is no reason and no excuse for why a person does not live up to team expectations or what we're asked for in the workplace, whether it's sports or otherwise. We have to have expectations, targets, metrics, and things to measure in order to rate performance for all of us. And a really great takeaway that you can use that is safe, that's inclusive, and that will make you a better person, parent, or friend. I see you. I care about you. I believe in you. But that did not meet the expectations that we have for this group. Now you can twist and use that any way you want. You can make it sound more natural, but the key is when we are hard on someone about expectations, being a coach at the NHL or anything we're doing, we don't want people to take away that we don't care about them and that we don't love them. We need them to know that we care about them and we love them. And we need to do it with tone, body language, and a presence that lets them know that, but also tells them fairly, we missed the mark and we didn't hit our expectations of what we were looking to do in that drill or in that game. And it always comes back to that language of choice. What was that? Does not say I believe in you. What did you see out there? Does. And the last thing I'll let you take away from this one is keep your cool. But at the right time, at the very correct time, you have the opportunity to escalate and take one for the team. And that's exactly what we're seeing here from Jon Cooper. He is letting the ref have it right now. And this is actually very uncommon of Jon Cooper and most NHL coaches. Boom, he's ejected. But the key you're trying to do here is you're trying to keep your players away from this. And you can see them getting fired up. It does very little good for us as coaches or as people to get hot at officials or other teams until you need it. But you really need to be careful with this one. It has to be so very, very rare. Everybody wants to know that you have their back in a moment of crisis. But the hotter that a coach gets or a leader gets or you get with anyone in your life, the more everybody else around you is going to be distracted. They're going to fall apart and you're going to lose focus on the plan, which is the game and the ultimate outcome, which is winning. But every now and then, if you do it at the correct time, and people don't expect you to do it because you're level-headed, because you're calm, because you're a great teacher, because you're inclusive, because you create psychological safety for players and you've created a wonderful team environment for your team, family, or friends. When you do, they will know you have their back, but you have to be so tactical and you have to have trust when you put this in. Because don't forget, every time we compliment a player, every time we see a person, every time we let them know they've done something good, every time we hold them to expectations without losing the ego, remember, I believe in you, but we have bigger expectations and we miss the mark. Every single time we do that, we're making a deposit into a person's bank of trust. But every time we yell at an official, scream, or demand something of somebody, yes, we may have power and a coach may have power, and yes, you may get the outcome you want, but you are withdrawing from that bank. And once that bank is empty and you're on the left side, you no longer have any trust of that person, and you will not win games and you will not win hearts and minds. That is why it is critical to make multiple deposits through practices and through every touch point you can with teams and players, and show them how much you care about them. Show them how much we hold fair, clear, consistent communication so that at the right time when you do need to pop off, it isn't a big deposit and players do even believe you might have their back. But if you default to directing and you default to yelling and you default to saying, I'm doing this for the best of you, eventually you're going to run out of trust, or you may not have any to begin with, and it's not going to go well. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this lesson about what coaches do away from what we see in general media. I hope you got a better idea of how to watch hockey through this continued series. Go ahead and check out some of our other great videos here on the channel about face-offs, about offsides, and our latest one after this about big hits. What does it take to be a player making big, great hits?